Hello and welcome to today's episode, which deals with the meaning and characteristics of entrepreneurship. It will also tell you the difference between an entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. In addition to it, the episode also explains the role of the socio-economic environment on the development of entrepreneurship. I am Amrita Ghosh Kumar and the subject expert for today's program is Dr. Arshia Hussain, teaching in the Center for Management Studies, Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi. Let us start by understanding the concept of an entrepreneur. The word entrepreneur is derived from the French word entreprendre, which means to undertake. That is, the person who undertakes the risk of starting a new enterprise. An entrepreneur may be defined as a person who combines all the factors of production with the purpose of producing a valuable product for a price. According to Cantillon, an entrepreneur is a person who buys factor services at certain prices with a view to selling its product at uncertain prices. Thus, to Cantillon, an entrepreneur is a bearer of risk which is non-insurable. According to F.A. Walker, entrepreneur is one who is endowed with more than average capacities in the task of organizing and coordinating the factors of production, that is, land, labor, capital, and enterprise. According to Max Weber, entrepreneurs are a product of a particular social condition in which they are brought up, and it is the society which shapes individuals as entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur is considered to be the most important, crucial factor in economic progress. He generates new ideas, identifies and mobilizes potential resources, and thereby produces new products. However, to be successful, an entrepreneur should possess the following characteristics. Initiation. An entrepreneur should have an ability to initiate things. They have a desire to achieve higher goals. According to the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, the EDI, given the demand of the situation, the entrepreneur takes initiation to start an industry. Risk bearing. Entrepreneurs are the persons who have the capacity and willingness to assume risk. They should take decisions under uncertainty and thus bears risk involved in the business. Independence. An entrepreneur is an independent person and prefers to be his own boss. He prefers to be responsible for his own decisions. Information seeker. An entrepreneur is a person who is ready to learn from the experience of others and enriches his business information to help him reach his goal. Self-confidence. An entrepreneur is a person who believes in his strengths and weaknesses. Flexibility. An entrepreneur should be flexible enough to adjust his decisions according to the changing situation. Successful entrepreneurs are willing to accept change. They are the persons with an open mind and without any rigidity. Analytical ability of mind. An entrepreneur must have an ability to analyze the realistic approach towards their business. Successful entrepreneurs avoid emotional and sensitive attitudes towards their business. They are not affected by their personal likes and dislikes. Interpersonal skills. Since entrepreneurs have to deal with a large number of people such as raw material, suppliers, customers, bankers and others, they must have the skills to deal with the people at all levels. An entrepreneur has to perform the following functions. Risk-taking and uncertainty. This is one of the principal functions of an entrepreneur. It involves doing something which you know might have unpleasant consequences. The risk can be of two types. Firstly, there are some risks such as fire, loss of goods in transit, etc., which can be insured against, and an entrepreneur can avoid these risks by getting them insured and paying premium for them. The second type of risk are those which cannot be insured against and have to be borne by the entrepreneur. This type of risk is termed as uncertainty. A producer produces goods in anticipation of a demand for these goods. But in the modern dynamic economies, demand and cost conditions keep on changing due to the various reasons. Similarly, supply and cost conditions may also change due to a change in techniques of production and taxation policies by the government. These changes are difficult to anticipate, and therefore an entrepreneur may incur losses. Innovation. Ch05 considered innovation as the most important functions of an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is the innovator who introduces something new into the economy. Innovation includes anything that increases demand at lower cost of production. An entrepreneur may introduce a new product, may improve on the old product, may use new methods of production or new or cheaper sources of raw material. Organization and management. Alfred Marshall recognized organization and management of the entrepreneur as the main function of an entrepreneur. It implies bringing together the various factors of production. The purpose is to allocate the productive resources in order to minimize losses and reduce the cost of production. In the initial stage of the establishment of an enterprise, the entrepreneur may take all decision by itself. But as the enterprise grows and the work of decision making becomes more complex, the entrepreneur delegates authority to subordinates. He selects the plant site and the plant size. He arranges raw material, machinery and finance. Thus, as an organization builder, the entrepreneur must assemble and organize all factors of production in the best possible way, so as to achieve operational efficiency. Entrepreneurship is the process of identifying opportunities in the marketplace, mobilizing the resources required to pursue these opportunities, and investing the resources to exploit the opportunities for the achievement of organizational objectives. It is a goal-oriented process which involves production and distribution of goods and services. The following entrepreneurial traits have been developed by John Horaday of Bobson College. 1. Self-confidence and optimistic. 2. Energy and diligence. 3. The ability to take calculated risks. 4. Creativity. 5. Flexibility. 6. Positive response to challenges. 7. Dynamism and leadership. 8. Ability to get along with people. 9. Responsiveness to suggestions. 10th. Responsiveness to criticism. 11th. Knowledge of the market. 12th. Resourcefulness. 13th. A need to achieve. 14. Initiative. 15. Independence. 16. Foresight. 17. Profit orientation. 18. Optimism. 19th. Versatility. And 20th. The knowledge of product and technology. Entrepreneurship is a set of activities performed by an entrepreneur. However, the term entrepreneur is used synonymously with the term entrepreneurship, but they are different in their meaning and in their connotations. The relationship and difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship is given below. The difference between an entrepreneur and entrepreneurship is entrepreneur is a person, while the entrepreneurship is a process. Entrepreneur is an initiator, while entrepreneurship refers to the initiative. Entrepreneur is a risk taker, while entrepreneurship is risk-taking. Entrepreneur is an innovator, while entrepreneurship is a process of innovation. Entrepreneur is a decision maker, while entrepreneurship is a process of decision making. Entrepreneur is a planner, while entrepreneurship is a process of planning. Entrepreneur is a motivator, while entrepreneurship refers to the motivation. Accepting challenges. Entrepreneurship means accepting risk and challenges in this situation of uncertainty. While accepting entrepreneurship as a career, the entrepreneur accepts the challenges and risks in undertaking a project. An entrepreneur puts all his efforts to convert the odds into possible business opportunities by mobilizing the resources for building and running the enterprise. Risk-taking. Risk-taking or risk-bearing is one of the most important characteristics of entrepreneurship. It means assuming the responsibility for loss that may occur due to unforeseen contingencies of the future. An entrepreneur, by his deep analytical ability and scientific approach, analyzes the situation objectively and reduces the risk considerably on one hand and enhances the profit factor on the other. Organization building. Another characteristic of entrepreneurship is organization building. It is the most important skill needed for entrepreneurship as it facilitates the economic use of other innovations. A successful organization is the result of effective entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur, by using effective leadership and delegation of authorities, builds up the organization. Managerial skills. Another important characteristic of entrepreneurship is skillful management. An entrepreneur has to effectively manage the enterprise by initiating new designs and by making improvements in the existing and upcoming projects. Entrepreneurship is a process of identifying the opportunities. Innovation. Innovation is one of the most important characteristics of entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a process of doing things in a new and better way. Entrepreneurship and innovation are the two sides of the same coin. An entrepreneur is always engaged in innovating something new and assuming risk by decision making under uncertainty. Mobilization of resources. Entrepreneurs have the capability of mobilizing resources. They utilize these resources in the most economical way which is useful to the society. An entrepreneur perceives, identifies and pools the resources effectively for achieving his organizational goals. An entrepreneur is a person, whereas enterprise is the business or organizational unit. An entrepreneur is a risk taker, while enterprise is the business unit involving risk and uncertainty. An entrepreneur is a decision maker, whereas an enterprise is a business unit which provides a framework within which decisions concerning what to produce, how much to produce, where to produce are taken by the entrepreneur. An entrepreneur produces and sells the product, whereas an enterprise implies production of goods and services by the interrelation of functions and staff, primarily for the purpose of making or selling products or service. An entrepreneur procures the raw materials and other inputs for production, whereas an enterprise utilizes the raw materials and other inputs in the process of production. In the present day, various types of entrepreneurs are found engaged in various types of activities. They are found in a variety of activities in different sectors such as the industrial sector, the agricultural and the commercial sector. The entrepreneurs working in the industrial sector, service sector and business sectors are technically called as ISB sector. According to Danhoff, entrepreneurs are classified into the following categories. Innovating entrepreneurs. It is characterized by aggressive assembling of information and the analysis of the results derived from sound combination of factors. An innovating entrepreneur seeks the opportunity for introducing new techniques or a new product in the new market. He should raise funds to launch an entrepreneur, assemble the various factors, choose top executive and set the organization going. Such entrepreneurs are very much helpful for their country as they bring about a transformation in lifestyle by bringing innovation. These entrepreneurs are mostly found in developed countries. Such entrepreneurs emerge and can work only when a certain level of development already is achieved and people look forward to change and progress. Imitative entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs are those who imitate the existing entrepreneurs and set up their enterprise in the same manner. These entrepreneurs imitate the technology and techniques innovated by innovating entrepreneurs. Such types of entrepreneurs are also known as adoptive entrepreneurs. They also generate employment opportunities for countries and therefore they are treated as the agent of the economic development. Fabian entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs are very cautious and very much skeptical in their approach in adopting or innovating new technology for their enterprise. They are very shy and lazy and lack the will to adopt new methods. They are not easily adaptable to the changing environment. They prefer to remain in the existing business with the age-old techniques of production. They imitate changes only when it becomes a must for their survival. Drone entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs are those who behave in a monotonous way. These entrepreneurs are conservative or orthodox in outlook. They refuse to adopt and use opportunities to make changes in production. They continue to operate in their traditional way and resist changes. They are comfortable with their traditional technology of production even though the environment as well as the society have undergone considerable changes. Thus, drone entrepreneurs refuse to adopt the changes and stick to conventional products and ideas. Entrepreneur by inheritance. These are the people who become entrepreneur only when they inherit family business. In India, there are a large number of family-controlled business house firms. These business houses are passed on from common generation to another generation. Technological entrepreneurs. With the decline of joint family business and the rise of scientific and technological institutions, technologically qualified people have entered the field of business. These entrepreneurs may enter business to commercially exploit their invention and discoveries. Forced entrepreneurs. Many persons become entrepreneurs on account of the circumstances. Unemployed persons without a job or persons with comparatively low educational background enter into the field of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs of this category are called forced entrepreneurs. Institutional entrepreneurs. Such entrepreneurs are needed and developed to handle the complex procession of decision making, large-scale organizations in the matters of finance, investment of capital and marketing of products. Women entrepreneurs. A group of women who initiate, organize and operate a business enterprise are called women entrepreneurs. A complex and varying combination of economic, institutional, personality and sociological factors determine the nature and degree of entrepreneurial activity at any time. The environment, particularly the external, is dynamic. Entrepreneurship is dependent upon several economic, social, political and psychological factors. Environmental factors. Various environmental factors influencing the emergence of entrepreneurship are as follows. Economic condition. Economic environment exercise perhaps the most direct and immediate influence on the entrepreneurship. Capital, labor, raw materials and market are the main economic factors which affects the environmental emergence of entrepreneurship. Capital. Capital is one of the most important prerequisite to establishing an enterprise. Availability of capital facilitates the entrepreneur to bring together the factors of the production. Capital is regarded as a lubricant to the process of production. Our past experience suggests that with an increase in capital investment, capital output ratio tends to increase the profit, which further increases the capital formation. This suggests that as capital supply increases and entrepreneurship also increases. Labor. Labor is another factor which influences the emergence of entrepreneurship. It is noticed that cheap labor is often less mobile or even immobile. Adam Smith also considered division of labor as an important element in the economic development. According to him, division of labor, which itself depends upon the size of the market, leads to improvement in the production capacities of labor. It appears that the labor problem clearly does not prevent entrepreneurship from emerging. Raw materials. It influences the emergence of entrepreneurship, since in the absence of raw materials, neither any entrepreneur can establish nor entrepreneurship can emerge. Market. The potential of the market constitutes the major determinant of probable reward from entrepreneur function. The size and the composition of market both influence entrepreneur in their own ways. Socio-cultural factors. The social and cultural milieu of a country exercises a significant impact on the emergence of entrepreneurship. The cultural factors that stress individualism encourage innovations of entrepreneurs. On the other hand, traditions that stress cooperation and group action have been a hindrance in the process of entrepreneurship. The main component of social environment affecting the emergence of entrepreneurship is the social mobility. It involves the degree of mobility, both social and geographical, and the nature of mobility channels within a system. Some hold a view that a high degree of mobility is conducive to the entrepreneurship. Both need openness of a system, and the need for flexibility in role relations implies the need for the possibility of mobility within the system for the entrepreneurship development. In India, for example, people born in a particular caste, particularly in rural areas, restrict their activities to that of particular castes. However, due to various economic and non-economic reforms pursued by the Indian government recently, situation is changing fast in favor of entrepreneurial ventures from all sections of the society. Psychological factors. Various psychological factors affect the process of entrepreneurship development. The most important of them is motivation, perception, beliefs, and attitudes. Motivation implies an inner state that causes a person to act towards the attainment of the goals. It is an inspirational process that induces an individual towards attainment of goals. It causes a chain reaction. Motivation is the internal feeling which produces goal-directed behavior. Perception. A motivated person is ready to act, and how a motivated person actually acts is influenced by his or her perception of the situation. Perception is the process by which an individual selects, organizes, and interprets information inputs to create a meaningful picture of the world. Thus, motivation and perception affects entrepreneurship development. Political factors. The political system of a country affects the entrepreneurship development. Stable government, internal and external security to the people, is always helpful in encouraging entrepreneurship. Protection of life and property, maintenance of law and order, and the operation of legal process in the event of dispute encourages entrepreneurial activity. Following are the barriers due to which many entrepreneurs fail to succeed: lack of viable concepts, lack of market knowledge, lack of technical knowledge, lack of seed capital, lack of business know-how, lack of motivation, lack of social system, lack of time, pressures and distractions, legal constraints and regulations, and inhibitions due to patents. Entrepreneurship is the process by which other new ventures are born within the organization. In the words of Bugelman, it is the process of extending the firm's domain of competence and corresponding opportunity set through internally generated new resource combinations. An entrepreneur is an independent businessman, whereas an entrepreneur is semi-dependent on the owners of the corporation. An entrepreneur raises their funds on his own initiative, whereas an entrepreneur depends upon the industry in which he works for getting the finance. An entrepreneur operates from outside of an organization, whereas the entrepreneur operates from within the organization. An entrepreneur is the real owner of the business, whereas an entrepreneur is not the real owner of the business. Rather, he works for the business. An entrepreneur converts the ideas of an entrepreneur into feasible opportunities, whereas an entrepreneur takes the responsibility of creating innovation of any kind from within the organization. Let us now quickly summarize what we have learned today. We have learned the definition of an entrepreneur and an entrepreneurship. We have also learned the various characteristics of entrepreneurs and the various types of entrepreneurs. We learned that an entrepreneur is a person who combines all the factors of production with the purpose of producing a valuable product for a certain price, whereas an entrepreneurship is the process of identifying opportunities in the marketplace, mobilizing the resources required to pursue these opportunities, and investing the resources to exploit the opportunities towards the achievement of organizational objectives. An entrepreneurship is characterized with the ability to initiate, risk-bearing, independence, information seeker, self-confidence, flexibility, analytical ability of mind, interpersonal skills. There are different types of entrepreneur which are classified as innovative entrepreneurs, fabian entrepreneurs, donish entrepreneurs, and imitative entrepreneurs. Various social, cultural, environmental, and economic and psychological factors affect the development of entrepreneurship. So that is all for today. Hope you have understood the fundamentals of an entrepreneurship. We'll see you again with another topic on the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. Till then, take care and goodbye.